In the late summer of 2017, an invitation to go camping with my friend Dylan and his girlfriend Tori came my way, sparking an opportunity for an adventure I couldn't resist. Eagerly, I extended the invitation to my girlfriend Leah, hoping to introduce her to the world of camping. Our relationship was fresh, just a little over 2 months young, but I figured it was the perfect chance to test the waters of spending extended time together. The decision was made. We were headed to the breathtaking landscapes of Red River Gorge in eastern Kentucky. Our hearts brimmed with excitement as we envisioned the tranquility of the woods and the thrill of an authentic camping experience. The hike uphill was a testament to our determination, navigating the winding trails that led us deep into the heart of nature's embrace. After a rewarding trek, we stumbled upon an untouched spot, marked by remnants of previous campers. It seemed ideal, installed in the bosom of the wilderness, offering a perfect canvas for our camping aspirations. Preparations occurred, a blend of resourcefulness and careful planning. I had procured a modest 2-person tent and a cozy assortment of blankets to fashion a comfortable sleeping pallet. Meanwhile, Dylan came prepared with his 4-person tent, an inflatable mattress, and their beloved German Shepherd, Teddy. As the air mattress began to take shape with the aid of an electric pump, a pain of guilt crawled on me. Watching their extravagant setup while I confessed to Leah about my budget-conscious choices felt awkward, almost as if I were being a penny pincher. I hesitated, feeling a bit embarrassed, admitting that I had only spent around $140 on our camping gear due to financial constraints. Leah, ever understanding, brushed off the concern with a warm smile and reassuring words, expressing that the value lay in the experience, not the price tag. Her simple affirmation, "as long as she was with me," held a weight that dissolved my worries, instantly easing the tension that had crept in. As the night wore on, conversation danced around the crackling fire, echoing in the confines of our spontaneous collective dwelling. Stories were exchanged, memories created, and bonds solidified amidst the shared experience of overcoming the unexpected challenges nature had thrown our way. In the depths of the woods, amidst the embrace of nature's serenity, we found ourselves, Dylan, Tori, Leah, and me, engulfed in a night of camping that etched itself into our memories as a vibrant tableau of friendship and laughter. Our setting was picturesque, a perfect blend of lush trees and a star-studded sky that beckoned us to explore its mysteries. As the flickering flames of our campfire danced to life, so did our spirits. The Jim Beam and Coke flowed freely, punctuating the air with laughter and banter. The girls developed their vibrant bullfrogs with Kool-Aid and vodka, adding a splash of color to our gathering. While roasting hot dogs and marshmallows, tales of family camping adventures mingled with raucous party anecdotes, weaving a tapestry of shared experiences and memories. Leah's laughter echoed through the woods, and seeing her smile so freely, immersed in the moment, brought a warm swell to my heart. Holding her close, I stole glances at the stars peeking through the canopy of trees, feeling an inexplicable sense of gratitude for having her by my side. As the night deepened, so did our merrymaking. A fifth of whiskey that Dylan and I polished off added a hazy glow to the evening. The air hung heavy with humidity, causing a sheen of sweat to glow on our skin. Despite the warmth, the camaraderie, and the sheer joy of the moment kept us entangled in the spirit of celebration. Around 1 a.m., as the embers of the fire dwindled and the night enveloped us in its velvet embrace, we retired to our tents. The air inside was thick and sultry, clinging to our skin like a warm embrace. Leah and I found ourselves enveloped in an intimate moment, the heat of the night mingling with the passionate connection between us. Our bodies moved with an energy fueled by the night's intensity, a sweat-drenched ballet of shared desire and affection. The warmth of our passion permeated the confines of the tent, entwining our spirits in an intimate dance. Eventually, as the night's passion diminished, we settled in for sleep, the damp heat prompting us to seek comfort in our underwear, a privilege to the sultry night. Later I woke up around 5 a.m. with my stomach cramping like hell. I clenched my eyes and bit my tongue, trying not to cry out in pain and wake up Leah. I put my clothes on, crawled out of the tent, stood up, dug out a roll of toilet paper from the bags between the tents, and ran into the deep brush. I tripped on a tree root and dropped the toilet paper and it rolled down the hill. I started running back to get another roll and couldn't handle the pain anymore. I tried to let out a little fart and felt warm juice squirt out. "Oh hell nah, I'm messed up," I said as I pulled my shorts and boxers down to examine them with the light from my phone. There was brown chilly looking shit all in my boxers. Like pulling over and opening your smoking car hood and you know your engine is broken and messed up. I quickly pulled my boxers off, squatted down to finish my intensely messy shit that sounded like pouring a bucket of wet sand on the leaves, and felt so much better. I tossed my boxers away from the trail and heard someone walking down from the campsite. I freaked out because I had shit all over my legs and on one of my hands and it smelled like a freaking porta potty in the middle of summer. It ended up being the dog, Teddy. I shooed him away and used the bandana wrapped around my forehead to wipe my butt and tossed it. I sneaked back to the campsite and cleaned up with a bar of soap and a bottle of water, with the dog awkwardly watching me the entire time, and decided to sacrifice my deodorant stick and rub it all over my skin and down my butt crack to mask the horrid smell. I went back into the tent, cuddled up to Leah, and went back to sleep. We woke up to Tori screaming. We got out of the tent and saw Teddy running out of their tent with her screaming, "What the heck, you nasty goddamn dog?" We walked over and asked what was wrong, and Tori told us Dylan's stupid dog dragged underwear into the tent full of shit and she had it on the back of her shirt. As the camping trip unfolded, tensions brewed amid an unexpected and rather awkward situation. Leah's disgust was real, evident in the way she prevented her gaze, distancing herself from the scene that was unfolding before us. It was Dylan who took action, swiftly moving away to procure a stick. Meanwhile, I found myself engulfed in a whirlwind of panic, desperately hoping to shield Leah from the embarrassing sight of my American Eagle boxers, now soiled and sagging precariously from the stick exerted by Dylan. Summoning every ounce of composure, I mustered the words, "That's so sick, I don't want to see them," praying fervently that Leah would heed my plea and accompany me back to the tent. My silent plea hung heavy in the air, a fervent wish for a swift retreat from this mortifying moment. But fate seemed unkind as Leah remained unmoved, her attention fixed on the spectacle unfolding before her. In an attempt to redirect her focus, I stood there attempting a facade of mock disgust and shock, my expression a mere reflection of the turmoil within. However, Tori's reaction, or rather lack thereof, caught me off guard. Her face betrayed no hint of revulsion, no mirroring of the emotions I was desperately trying to convey. Instead, she stood there, seemingly unperturbed, observing the situation with a curious detachment that baffled me. Dylan, on the other hand, had taken charge, gingerly holding the baby blue boxers on the end of the stick, a surreal sight with drops of unpleasantness dripping onto the ground. The grimace on his face, coupled with the exaggerated gesture of holding his nose, added an almost comical layer to the otherwise embarrassing ordeal. He swiftly deposited the filthy garment into a Walmart bag, attempting to contain the situation and spare further embarrassment. Meanwhile, I found myself caught in a vortex of conflicting emotions. Embarrassment, frustration, and a tinge of desperation, all jumbled into an awkward tableau. Leah's steadfast refusal to divert her attention compounded my discomfort, and her fixed gaze on my waistline, however discreet, sent shivers down my spine. The silence between us was deafening, expectant with unspoken words and unaddressed discomfort. I longed for an escape, a chance to whisk Leah away from this cringe-worthy scene, but my attempts fell flat in the face of her indifference. As Dylan tied the bag, attempting to seal away this unfortunate incident, I scrambled for a way to salvage the remnants of normalcy. "Let's head back," I murmured, hopeful for a chance to regroup away from the lingering awkwardness. Yet Leah remained rooted, her incomprehensible expression leaving me at a loss for how to navigate this unexpected turn of events. In a last-ditch effort, I reached out to Leah, extending a gentle invitation back to the sanctuary of our tent. But she continued to stand there, unmoved by my attempts to defuse the situation. Eventually, with a sigh, I resigned myself to the reality that this moment had irrevocably altered the dynamics between us. The lingering unease settled between our shared glances, an unspoken acknowledgement of the discomfort that hung heavy in the air. As we crawled back towards the tent, an uneasy silence enveloped us, punctuated only by the rustling of leaves and the distant chirping of crickets. Each step felt weighted, burdened by the unspoken tension that lingered, casting a pall over the otherwise serene camping site. In the confines of the tent, the awkwardness persisted, casting a shadow over what was meant to be a relaxing getaway. Leah's unreadable demeanor further deepened my unease, leaving me grappling with the aftermath of this embarrassing episode. In the quiet of the night, as I lay awake, the events of the evening replayed in my mind like a relentless loop. The unanswered questions and unspoken thoughts hung heavy, casting a veil of uncertainty over the once familiar camaraderie. In the aftermath of that unsettling moment, the once easy connection among us seemed strained, the unspoken discomfort echoing in the silent exchanges and hesitant glances. The friendship we once shared appeared fragile, wavering on the ridge of awkwardness, a stark departure from the ease that had defined our interactions before. The morning brought with it a hesitant attempt to restore normalcy, yet the tension lingered, an unspoken barrier that loomed between us. The awkwardness of the previous night remained an elephant in the room, casting a pall over our interactions, and leaving me grappling with a sense of unease that seemed insurmountable. As the camping trip drew to a close, the memory of that uncomfortable incident remained etched in my mind, a stark reminder of how swiftly the dynamics of relationships could shift in the face of unforeseen circumstances. Despite my efforts to mend the rift, the lingering discomfort persisted, leaving behind an indelible mark on our shared experiences. The night was dark, and the campfire crackled with warmth. We sat in a circle, Tori, Dylan, Leah, and me, surrounded by the wilderness. That's when Tori held up a pair of underwear, her brow furrowed in disbelief. "Whose freaking underwear is it?" she demanded, her eyes darting between Dylan and me. Both of us denied it, shaking our heads vigorously. I tried to reason that it might have belonged to someone who camped here before us, but Tori wasn't convinced. "Nah, it's pretty fresh. I'm a CNA, trust me, I know." Tori spoke up, her voice calm yet certain. Amidst the bickering, Leah remained quiet, observing the situation. Tori and Dylan argued, pointing fingers at each other about the dog, Teddy, always getting into something messy. Tori even threatened to leave Dylan if he didn't find a way to keep Teddy out of trouble. While they were caught up in their dispute, I attempted to maintain a poker face, hiding the guilt that weighed heavily on me. Dylan grabbed a water bottle and started pouring it over Teddy, scrubbing furiously with his toothbrush to remove whatever mess the dog had rolled in. Apparently, it was something less than pleasant. Deep down, I knew the truth. The reason for Teddy's unfortunate adornment wasn't some random mishap but my embarrassing accident. Yet, there was no way I was going to confess. Leah's silence spoke volumes, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that she knew it was mine. I remembered how my shorts had sagged earlier, revealing a glimpse of my boxers. Even in the dim light, I suspected Leah might have caught sight of them. Tori would have gone ballistic if I admitted to it, especially after the trouble we went through earlier. I recalled how she had to discard her shirt because of the mess and the hassle it caused. Revealing that the underwear belonged to me was out of the question. It would have been a disaster. So, there I sat, wearing a mask of innocence while Dylan battled the aftermath of Teddy's misadventure. As much as I wanted to help, the fear of revealing the truth kept me rooted in my seat. The tension in the air was thick, and I prayed that Tori wouldn't expose my secret. The night dragged on, the fire slowly dying down to embers. Eventually, after much effort, Dylan managed to clean Teddy up, and the chaos settled into an uneasy calm. However, the guilt still gnawed at me. As we retreated into our tents for the night, the weight of my secret lingered. I tossed and turned, haunted by the events of the evening. Would Leah find out eventually? Could I keep this buried forever? The morning after that wild camping trip felt heavy with awkwardness. We gathered for breakfast, trying to go through the motions like everything was normal, but the tension was tangible. After eating, we packed our gear and loaded up the car, ready to head back home. Leah, usually chatty and lively, was unusually quiet. I noticed her glances and the way she seemed to be avoiding eye contact. It was like she had something on her mind but couldn't bring herself to say it. As we drove, stopping at a gas station along the way, Leah suddenly broke her silence. I would be pretty mad if I woke up to the smell of those underwear. But I would understand that someone got sick, she said out of the blue, her eyes fixed on me. Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. She knew. Somehow, she knew the truth about what had happened with those cursed underwear. I couldn't evade it any longer. Taking a deep breath, I gathered the courage to come clean. I got sick, I confessed, feeling the weight of embarrassment crush me. I explained how I hadn't even considered that the dog might have found them when I chucked them away in the woods in a rush. Leah's expression softened, and she probed gently, asking why I hadn't admitted it earlier. I hung my head, feeling the shame creep up. I was just too embarrassed, I admitted, my voice barely audible. She nodded in understanding, her demeanor surprisingly compassionate. Leah wasn't there to judge, she seemed to want to help me navigate the mess I'd found myself in. We continued the journey in relative silence, but there was a newfound ease between us. Leah didn't push the subject further, allowing me the space to process and gather my thoughts. Her quiet support was a comforting balm to my frayed nerves. As we neared home, I realized how much I appreciated Leah's understanding. She hadn't made a big deal out of my embarrassing mishap. Instead, she'd shown empathy, helping me confront my embarrassment. Once we reached home, Leah pulled me aside, her tone gentle. "You know, it's okay to make mistakes, everyone does. The important thing is to learn from them," she said, offering a reassuring smile. Her words struck a chord. I hadn't expected such wisdom and kindness from someone I thought would judge me harshly. Leah's advice lingered in my mind, nudging me to confront the situation with courage and honesty. The next day at breakfast, I mustered up the courage to address the incident. Tori and Dylan were immersed in their conversation, and I took a deep breath, preparing myself. "I need to say something," I began, my voice shaky. Everyone turned their attention to me, and I felt the weight of their curious gazes. Those underwear that caused all the drama during the camping trip. They were mine. There was a moment of stunned silence, and then Tori burst into laughter. "Wait, seriously? That was what all the fuss was about, she exclaimed between giggles. Dylan's eyes widened in surprise before he, too, joined in the laughter. Man, I thought it was some animal or something, he chuckled, shaking his head. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. Their reaction wasn't what I'd anticipated at all. It wasn't the end of the world, and they weren't angry or disgusted. Instead, they found the whole situation rather amusing. I'm sorry for not owning up to it earlier, I apologized, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. Tori gave me an encouraging smile, her silent support speaking volumes. It's all right. We all have our moments, she reassured me softly. The atmosphere lightened and we continued breakfast, the tension dissolving into shared laughter and jokes. It was a moment of acceptance and understanding that I hadn't expected, and it taught me a valuable lesson about the power of honesty and the support of friends. From that day on, I learned to laugh at my embarrassing mishap, knowing that it was just a part of life's unpredictable journey. And I was grateful for the understanding and empathy that Leah had shown me, proving that admitting mistakes and facing embarrassment could lead to unexpected moments of connection and friendship. However, the camping incident had caused an unexpected ripple in our relationship, and the aftermath was more significant than I had anticipated. Returning from that camping trip, things between Leah and me felt strained. The spark that had once ignited between us seemed to have dimmed. We were distant, our interactions lacking the usual warmth and closeness we shared. It was like a silent barrier had risen between us. Days turned into weeks, and the intimacy we once shared became a distant memory. We hadn't been intimate for 2 weeks and I could feel Leah's discomfort around me. It hurt, knowing that a mishap with a pair of boxers had cast a shadow over our relationship. A month later, a night unfolded that I never expected. Leah came home unusually late, stumbling through the door, her steps unsteady. The smell of alcohol clung to her, and I could tell she had been drinking heavily. Concern flooded me as I rushed to her side, noticing her disheveled appearance and the far-off look in her eyes. "Are you okay?" I asked, trying to mask the worry in my voice. She slurred her words, a mixture of brandy and gin making her speech barely coherent. "I'm fine," she mumbled, attempting to steady herself. But as she tried to make her way to the bathroom, disaster struck. She lost her balance, collapsing onto the floor, and before I could react, I saw the telltale signs of an accident. My heart sank as I realized she had soiled herself, the alcohol having taken its toll. I could have stepped back, I could have been repulsed or angry, but seeing her in that state triggered a different response within me. Leah, usually so composed and strong-willed, was now vulnerable and helpless. It was a moment that stripped away any lingering discomfort or embarrassment from the camping incident. All I felt was an overwhelming urge to help her, to be there for her in her time of need. She lay there, crying and disoriented, and I knew I couldn't just stand by. Without a second thought, I gently lifted her and guided her into the bathroom. The sight was distressing, the bathroom floor smeared with vomit and excrement. But I pushed aside any disgust and focused on Leah, who was sobbing, lost in her drunken haze. I took charge, cleaning up the mess meticulously. It wasn't pleasant, but seeing her in such a vulnerable state erased any sense of discomfort. Once the bathroom was spotless, I helped her into the bathtub, ignoring the mess and the foul smell. I bathed her, doing my best to comfort her despite the distressing circumstances. As I cleaned her, I felt a shift in the dynamic between us. It was as if the barriers that had been erected between us after the camping incident were crumbling away. At that moment, I wasn't just her boyfriend, I was someone she could rely on in her most vulnerable moments. After cleaning her up and ensuring she was comfortable, Leah looked at me with tear-filled eyes. There was a rawness to her expression, a vulnerability that I hadn't seen before. And then she spoke, her voice shaky and filled with emotion. "I understand now," she whispered, her words piercing through the heavy air. I froze, unsure of what she meant. But as she continued, everything fell into place. "I understand why you were too embarrassed to admit about those boxers." Her admission caught me off guard. I hadn't expected Leah to make that connection, to understand the shame and embarrassment I had felt during the camping trip. It was a moment of unexpected clarity, a bridge between us built on mutual vulnerability and understanding. Tears welled up in my eyes as I nodded, unable to find the words to express how much her understanding meant to me. In that moment, it wasn't about the mess or the embarrassment, it was about the unspoken bond that had formed between us, a connection forged through vulnerability and acceptance. Leah's vulnerability that night changed something within our relationship. It was a turning point, a moment where walls crumbled, and honesty and understanding prevailed. We grew closer in the aftermath, learning to communicate openly and support each other through the ups and downs. From that night forward, our relationship transformed. We became more open, more compassionate, and more understanding of each other's vulnerabilities. It wasn't just about the good times, It was about weathering the storms together, embracing each other's flaws and imperfections without judgment. Leah's drunken mishap became a poignant reminder that sometimes, the most unexpected moments of vulnerability pave the way for deeper connections. It taught us both the importance of empathy, compassion, and the strength found in being vulnerable with each other. As we navigated our relationship with newfound understanding and openness, I realized that sometimes, it takes moments of messiness and vulnerability to truly strengthen the bonds between two people. And in that mess, we found a deeper, more profound connection that anchored us together in ways we never thought possible. But it doesn't end here because the mishap continues again. Fast forward to Leah and I being in a loving relationship for 6 months, navigating the ebb and flow of life's adventures together. We shared laughter, inside jokes, and cherished moments that stitched our bond tighter each day. But there was a momentous occasion on the horizon, a dinner party celebrating Leah's mother's birthday, that would mark the next step in our journey together. I was both excited and nervous when Leah invited me to meet her parents. It was a significant milestone in our relationship, a gesture that signified trust and seriousness. I wanted to make a good impression, to show them that I cherished Leah and respected her family. Moreover, let me tell you how Leah came from a prestigious and well-established family background that radiated success and achievement. Her parents, Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin, were highly respected physicians renowned in their field. Their family home exuded an air of sophistication, nestled in the heart of a picturesque neighborhood. It was adorned with elegant decor, reflecting the refined taste and discerning lifestyle of Leah's family. As the only daughter of Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin, Leah was their pride and joy. They doted on her, showering her with love, attention, and the best of everything life had to offer. Growing up, Leah was surrounded by a nurturing environment, where education, ambition, and excellence were celebrated. Leah's upbringing was rooted in a blend of discipline, compassion, and a strong emphasis on education and career achievements. Her parents had instilled in her a sense of responsibility and determination to excel in all aspects of life. On the other hand, my own background was starkly different. I came from a broken family, where tragedy struck early in my life. My parents had passed away, leaving me orphaned at a young age. The void left by their absence had shaped my journey, leading me to forge my path in the world. I had worked hard to carve out a successful career as a forex trader, striving to build a comfortable life for myself. Despite my financial stability and success, I carried the weight of my past, feeling a sense of insecurity and uncertainty when it came to matters of family and acceptance. When Leah and I fell in love, I found myself grappling with feelings of inadequacy. Her family's reputation and accomplishments loomed large in my mind, creating a sense of unease and anxiety as I contemplated meeting them for the first time. I feared that my fractured family history might be a stumbling block in Leah's parents accepting me. Their world seemed so different from mine, filled with stability, success, and a nurturing family environment. In contrast, my life had been marked by loss, hardships, and the absence of parental guidance. Despite my success in my career, I felt a sense of uncertainty about whether Leah's family would view me as a suitable match for their cherished daughter. I questioned whether my broken past would be a barrier to acceptance into their esteemed family circle. Yet, Leah remained steadfast in her love and reassurances. She assured me that her parents valued kindness, integrity, and character above all else. She believed that they would see beyond material accomplishments and recognize the person I was, a person who had overcome adversity and worked hard to achieve success. As the day of meeting Leah's parents drew nearer, my nerves were on edge. I wanted nothing more than to make a positive impression, to convey my love and devotion to Leah, and to demonstrate my sincerity in wanting to be a part of her life. As we arrived at Leah's family home, my heart raced with nervous anticipation. The grandeur of their residence, the aura of success, and the air of sophistication only added to my anxiety. I felt like an outsider, unsure if I belonged in this world of privilege and accomplishment. Leah held my hand, offering me a reassuring smile that conveyed unwavering support. Her touch was a source of comfort amidst the whirlwind of emotions I was experiencing. She reminded me that her parents were open-minded and valued genuine connections above societal norms or material wealth. As I was introduced to Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin, I was greeted with warmth and courtesy. Their demeanor exuded grace and professionalism, yet there was genuine kindness in their eyes that put me at ease. I felt a surge of relief at their welcoming attitude, but the fear of not being enough lingered within me. Moreover, it was a special occasion, a dinner party celebrating Leah's mother's birthday, and the atmosphere was filled with joy and celebration. Leah's parents had also invited some of their close friends and family to commemorate the occasion, and I was honored to be included in the gathering. We engaged in conversations, sharing stories and laughter, and I was pleasantly surprised by their genuine interest in knowing me beyond my career. They asked about my life, my passions, and my aspirations, and I spoke from the heart, revealing my journey with honesty and vulnerability. As the evening progressed, laughter filled the air, and the table was adorned with delectable dishes. Leah's mother had meticulously prepared an array of gourmet delights, showcasing her culinary skills. The warmth of the gathering was palpable, and I felt a sense of belonging among Leah's family and their guests. But as the evening progressed, an unexpected discomfort settled in my stomach. It was a satellite, a feeling that something wasn't quite right. I brushed it off, attributing it to nerves and the pressure of making a good impression. A sudden discomfort gripped my stomach, a familiar ache that I had experienced before. Panic surged within me as I realized what was happening. The embarrassment from the camping trip came rushing back, and I prayed that it was just a passing discomfort. However, my body had other plans. As I excused myself from the table, a wave of nausea hit me, and I knew I had to act fast. Rushing to the restroom, I hoped beyond hope that I could salvage the situation somehow. But the discomfort intensified, a wave of nausea hit me, and panic surged within me. I knew what was about to happen. Desperate to salvage the situation, I rushed to the bathroom, hoping for some privacy. But it was too late. The embarrassment of the past repeated itself, and I found myself in a situation I had dreaded. I had soiled myself again, and the realization hit me like a ton of bricks. My heart sank, the shame and humiliation overwhelming. I couldn't believe this was happening again, especially in front of Leah's parents. Shame washed over me, and I frantically tried to clean up, hoping to hide the evidence and salvage what remained of the evening. I tried to compose myself, but the embarrassment was etched on my face. As Leah came looking for me, the horror on her face mirrored my feelings. The disappointment and embarrassment were palpable as she saw the state I was in. "I'm so sorry," I stammered, feeling utterly defeated. Leah's expression was a mix of shock and concern. She seemed on the verge of tears, but she quickly gathered herself and took charge. Instead of showing anger or frustration, she surprised me with her reaction. "We need to get you to the hospital," she said firmly, her voice determined. I expected her to be furious, to distance herself from me after yet another embarrassing incident. But she was there, by my side, concerned and caring. It was a stark contrast to how I had imagined things would unfold. Leah guided me out, her concern overriding any sense of embarrassment. Despite my protests and apologies, she remained steadfast, focused on getting me the help I needed. Leah's parents were initially caught off guard by my sudden disappearance during the dinner party celebrating Leah's mother's birthday. Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin had been engaged in conversations with other guests, immersed in the joyful atmosphere of the celebration when they noticed my absence. There was a moment of concern and confusion as they searched for me, wondering about the sudden disappearance of their daughter's partner. Leah's absence, too, did not go unnoticed, causing a ripple of worry among the guests. As they tried to figure out the situation and inquire about our whereabouts, Leah's parents maintained composure, not wanting to cause any alarm among the guests. Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin exchanged concerned glances, their worry for Leah and me evident in their expressions. However, before they could act or inform anyone, Leah swiftly took charge. Instead of causing a scene or alarming her parents and the guests, she made a quick decision to take me to the hospital herself. She recognized the urgency of the situation and chose to prioritize my well-being without causing unnecessary commotion or panic. Leah's decisiveness and calm demeanor shone through as she guided me out of the house. Her parents, still unaware of the exact situation, watched as their daughter discreetly left. Her concern for my welfare is evident in her hurried yet composed actions. The guests continued to enjoy the celebration, unaware of the unfolding events. Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin maintained an outward sense of normalcy, not wanting to cause any undue concern among their friends and family present at the gathering. As Leah and I left the house, her parents were left with unanswered questions and a sense of unease. However, they trusted Leah's judgment and knew that she had likely taken this step for a valid reason, albeit unaware of the gravity of the situation. Leah's quick thinking and immediate action to prioritize my well-being without causing unnecessary alarm showcased her strength, maturity, and unwavering support. Amid the uncertainty, she remained level-headed and resolute, determined to ensure that I received the necessary help and care. At the hospital, the doctors conducted several tests, and after what felt like an eternity, they delivered an unexpected diagnosis: gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD. It was a condition triggered by certain foods, causing severe discomfort and unexpected episodes like the one I experienced that night. The news was a mix of relief and confusion. Relief that it wasn't something more serious, but confusion about how to manage a condition I hadn't even been aware of. Leah's presence was a comforting constant throughout the ordeal. She didn't show any signs of frustration or anger, instead, she was supportive and reassuring. As we left the hospital, Leah's demeanor shifted. There was a softness in her gaze, a vulnerability that she hadn't shown before. We sat in silence for a while, the weight of the night's events hanging in the air. "I thought you'd be done with me," I finally admitted, unable to shake off the feeling of shame. Leah turned to me, her eyes filled with compassion. "I was scared for you," she confessed quietly. "I wasn't angry, just worried." Her words caught me off guard. I had anticipated judgment and disappointment, but instead, she showed empathy and concern. It was a revelation, a moment where the depth of her care and understanding shone through. As we drove home, the silence between Leah and me felt different. It wasn't thick with the weight of embarrassment or disappointment, but rather, it carried a new quality, a sense of understanding and acceptance that seemed to settle between us. I stole a glance at Leah from the corner of my eye, finding solace in her presence. Her expression, once marked with worry and distress, now exuded a calm reassurance. It was as though her silence spoke volumes, communicating an unspoken vow to weather any storm together. Finally, breaking the silence that hung heavy in the car, Leah spoke softly, her voice laced with unwavering support. "We'll figure this out together, okay?" Her words were a lifeline, a promise that resonated deep within me. "Yeah," I replied, my voice tinged with gratitude. "Thank you, Leah. For everything." The days that followed were a testament to Leah's unwavering dedication and support. She stood by my side as we delved into understanding GERD, researching tirelessly to uncover ways to manage the condition. Her commitment to our relationship was unwavering, evident in every doctor's appointment she attended with me, and in every dietary adjustment she made to accommodate the condition. "Did you know certain foods can trigger GERD?" Leah would ask, her eyes fixed on her laptop screen, brows furrowed in concentration. "We might need to reconsider some ingredients in our meals." Her dedication to understanding the nuances of the condition was both endearing and comforting. In those moments, as we pored over articles and medical recommendations, I felt a sense of unity, a partnership in navigating the challenges that life had thrown our way. Throughout it all, Leah's presence was a constant source of solace. Her unwavering support became a lifeline, a beacon of hope in moments when the diagnosis seemed overwhelming. "It's not just about finding what to avoid, but also understanding how to manage it," Leah remarked, her voice carrying a sense of determination. "We'll find a way to make this work." Her assurance was like a gentle hand guiding me through uncharted waters. With her by my side, the fear and uncertainty about the diagnosis seemed less daunting. Each adjustment we made to our lifestyle, every modification to our diet, was a testament to our commitment to overcoming this obstacle together. "Our relationship has evolved," I admitted one evening, reflecting on the journey we had embarked upon. "I never imagined something like this could bring us closer." Leah smiled, a softness in her eyes that mirrored the depth of our bond. "Sometimes, the unexpected moments show us what we're truly capable of," she replied, her voice tinged with wisdom. The incidents that initially seemed like insurmountable hurdles had become stepping stones, strengthening the foundation of our relationship. The embarrassment and vulnerability that had once threatened to drive us apart had instead woven us closer together, creating a tapestry of resilience and understanding. "Thank you for not giving up on us," I confessed one evening, my heart heavy with gratitude. "For not letting these moments define our love." Leah reached for my hand, her touch warm and reassuring. "Our love is more than these moments," she reassured me, her gaze unwavering. "It's in how we face challenges together, how we support each other, that's what truly matters." As we navigated the intricacies of managing GERD together, I realized the power of vulnerability and acceptance in a relationship. Leah's unwavering support during my moments of embarrassment and vulnerability taught me the true essence of love, patience, empathy, and unwavering support. Through it all, our relationship blossomed, enriched by the challenges we faced. Life's unexpected twists had sculpted a connection built on empathy, understanding, and an unbreakable bond. In the midst of embarrassment and vulnerability, we found a love that was stronger and more resilient than we could have ever imagined. After the incident at the dinner party and learning about my diagnosis of GERD, there was a noticeable shift in the dynamics between Leah's parents and me. Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin, being physicians themselves, reached out to me with a gesture of kindness and concern. A few weeks after the diagnosis, I received a call from Leah's parents. The familiar yet authoritative voice of Dr. Eleanor greeted me over the phone, expressing genuine concern about my health. "Hello, it's Dr. Eleanor," she began, her voice carrying a tone of warmth and concern. "How have you been coping with the diagnosis?" Her genuine concern took me by surprise, but it was a welcomed surprise. I explained how Leah and I were adjusting to the changes in diet and lifestyle, navigating the management of GERD as best as we could. I'm glad to hear that, but we wanted to offer some advice, considering our background in medicine, Dr. Eleanor continued, her tone gentle yet authoritative. The conversation unfolded into an enlightening exchange. Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin, drawing from their expertise as physicians, offered valuable insights and recommendations regarding the management and treatment of GERD. They discussed various medications, lifestyle modifications, and preventive measures that could alleviate the symptoms and improve the quality of life for someone with GERD. We've seen cases like this in our practice, Dr. Benjamin chimed in, his voice reflecting years of experience. Diet plays a crucial role. Avoiding trigger foods and incorporating certain habits can make a significant difference. Their guidance was invaluable, offering a perspective that blended medical knowledge with genuine concern. They emphasized the importance of seeking regular medical advice, monitoring symptoms, and maintaining a proactive approach to managing the condition. We're always here if you need any advice or guidance, Dr. Eleanor assured me before ending the call. Their gesture left a profound impact on me. It wasn't just the professional advice they offered, it was the genuine care and willingness to lend support that struck a chord. Leah's parents had transcended the boundaries of a typical in-law relationship, becoming pillars of support and guidance in our journey. Their expertise and genuine concern for my well-being were a testament to the depth of their compassion. I shared the details of the conversation with Leah, who was touched by her parents' gesture. "They genuinely care about you," she remarked, a hint of pride in her voice. Their advice became a guiding light, influencing the adjustments we made in managing GERD. Leah and I incorporated their recommendations into our routine, diligently following the suggestions provided by her parents. It wasn't just about managing the condition, it was about fostering a sense of trust and gratitude for the invaluable guidance we had received. Months passed, and as we continued our journey with GERD, Leah's parents remained a supportive presence. They checked in occasionally, offering words of encouragement and guidance, demonstrating a level of care that extended beyond familial obligations. The experience taught me that sometimes, unexpected sources become pillars of support, guiding us through life's challenges. Leah's parents had not only extended their medical expertise but had also shown genuine care and empathy, fostering a sense of unity and support within our relationship. As we navigated the complexities of managing GERD, I realized that love and support often came from unexpected places. Leah's parents had transcended their roles as physicians, becoming mentors and confidants, nurturing a sense of unity and gratitude within our relationship. Their guidance, offered with compassion and expertise, had not only aided in managing a medical condition but had also strengthened the bonds of trust and love within our relationship. Through their genuine care and support, they had become an integral part of our journey, leaving an indelible mark on our hearts. Leah's parents, Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin, had inadvertently become more than just mentors in managing my GERD. Their warmth, care, and guidance not only helped us navigate the challenges of the condition but also filled a void I hadn't realized existed: the absence of parental love and support I had experienced since my childhood. Their gestures of kindness and genuine concern mirrored love and care I hadn't encountered since the loss of my parents. They opened their hearts and homes to me, embracing me as a part of their family. It was a healing balm for my inner child, a part of me that had yearned for parental affection and guidance. Their gestures of kindness filled a void in my heart, healing the wounds of a childhood marked by loss and loneliness. Leah and her family had unknowingly become the pillars of support, healing the inner child within me and nurturing a sense of belonging and love that I had yearned for. Their genuine care and affection became a salve for past wounds, creating a sense of unity and support that transformed my life in profound ways. It's strange how life has a funny way of surprising us. What started as the most embarrassing and humiliating incident of shitting my pants at a dinner party ended up being a turning point that brought unexpected but profound connections and genuine love into my life. When the incident first happened, I felt utterly mortified. I was convinced it was the end of any chance of a meaningful relationship with Leah, let alone gaining acceptance from her family. Yet, as fate would have it, the opposite occurred. Leah's unwavering support and understanding in the aftermath of that embarrassing incident laid the foundation for our bond to deepen. She didn't judge or distance herself, instead she stood by me, showing a level of empathy and compassion that I hadn't experienced before. But the surprises didn't stop there. Leah's parents, Dr. Eleanor and Dr. Benjamin, who were initially strangers to me, extended their kindness and expertise. Their guidance in managing my GERD went beyond mere medical advice. It resonated with the care and parental love that I had yearned for since losing my own parents. Their love and support filled a void in my life, healing parts of me that I hadn't dared to acknowledge, the inner child longing for guidance, affection, and a sense of belonging. As Leah and I navigated the challenges of my condition, her family became an integral part of our journey. The love and connections that blossomed from what was initially the most humiliating moment of my life were truly surprising. It was as if the universe, in its mysterious ways, had orchestrated this sequence of events to show that from embarrassment and vulnerability, genuine connections and love can emerge. Sometimes, life's most embarrassing moments can lead us to unexpected blessings and relationships that fill our hearts with warmth and healing. From that embarrassing incident emerged a support system that I hadn't anticipated. A family that embraced me with open arms, filling my life with love, guidance, and acceptance. It was a reminder that the universe works in mysterious ways, often guiding us through unexpected pathways that lead to profound connections and love. Through vulnerability and acceptance, I found a newfound family that brought more joy and love into my life than I could have ever imagined.